Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back and thank you for staying loyal to the gang. I know I've been gone for a while now, but I had other things to deal with, especially because I'm still in my postpartum term and all that, so I have really a lot of things to deal with. And yeah, I think it overwhelmed me to the point where I didn't even want to be in front of a camera and actually talk, or speak rather. So, but I'm back now, so yeah, as you can see by the title of this video, I'm going to be covering the topic of how I found out I was pregnant and how I told my parents. I guess that's what we're going to be covering in this video, and don't take any offense. This is just me and my opinions and my personal beliefs. It has nothing to do with anybody else. Everyone is allowed to have their own opinion and their own decision. If you're going to take any offense, I suggest you don't watch this video, because I'm not trying to offend anybody out there, you know. So yeah, but if you're interested in finding out how I found out I was pregnant and how I actually told my parents, or how they found out rather, stay tuned. Sorry guys for the quality change of the video, but my camera died and I had to continue shooting. I didn't want to solo postpone and procrastinating about this video, because saying clearly and mainly, and I just want to get it over and done with. The people did really ask me about it. Did really ask me to post it, so I feel like I really need to post it already, you know, and just put it out there. The main reason why I haven't been on my phone and not on my phone rather, on YouTube, is because I had things to deal with and they needed me and my personal attention. So I couldn't let those things deal with themselves. I had to deal with them, because if I didn't deal with them, they were going to deal with me and it was not going to be nice. So I had to deal with those things, but now the girl is 100% sharp. I'm grand now. I can say that I'm good, I'm great, I'm feeling great, you know. But for the past couple of weeks, or a month or so, I've been feeling like the crappiest person on earth. Even though some people might have experienced a different side, I was going through a lot. It's like life things mixed with my fourth trimester, because I'm still in my fourth trimester, which is postpartum, and I'm still dealing with that. I'm still trying to get the hang of things and all of that, but I also had to deal with life things also on this side. It's really hard balancing being a mom, being a student, and having to also try and live life outside of those things. It's really hard. It's not easy. I'm just gonna put it there, plain simple, blatantly, that it's not easy. It's not for the faint-hearted. If you want to tackle this, then you're signing up for something else, because wow, it's a lot. It really is a lot. But anyway, yeah, so today's topic is, the title of the video is how I found out I was pregnant. And how did my parents find out? I just want to put it out there that my baby was not planned. I had not planned. I had not. But I guess life has its own things. I was living my best life. I wouldn't lie to you. I was very experimental. I was just carefree, thinking I'm a bother and that I'll never get pregnant. I don't know how, when you are doing the deed. I do not know how I expected to not fall pregnant, but at the same time didn't take any precautions or whatever. And the sad part is that a week before I found out I was pregnant, I had spoken to one friend of mine, and she was telling me about contraceptives and whatnot. So I had actually finally considered going that route, and I'd spoken to her about it. I was like, okay, I think I'm ready to go find out more about these things, but I'll go to my doctor, so that we discuss and we find one that is best suited for me, because I do not know which one I want at the moment, but I do know that I wanted to actually try it out. But one thing that I will be honest about is that I didn't believe in it. I didn't believe in contraceptives. I didn't believe in family planning, rather. Like, I didn't believe in it. To be quite honest and frank with you, I didn't believe in it. To me, it felt like if it's time, man. Like, I really felt like if God wants me to have a child, whenever, it's gonna happen, and if it's not time, it won't happen. So it was whatever to me. And a couple of people in my life did try convince me into going to contraceptives, and I did say this is my body, so I really do have a choice to say yes or no to them. Like, it's my choice, and it has to be my decision to go that route. I have to be ready emotionally and mentally to go into that specific route, because it does really change a lot of things in your body. It does alter a lot of things. So that was my biggest concern, the big alterations. Weight concerns. I'm very scared of gaining weight. I'm very weight conscious. So it was a bit of a challenge for me to go that route. But I guess when it's time. It works for other people, it doesn't work for other people. And you see, that's the reason why I was really skeptical about going that route, because I felt like, okay, sharp, I go on the pill or whatever, next thing, and yeah, many other reasons. But yeah, the point of this video is not about contraceptives, but I just wanted to put it out there that I was not on any form of contraceptive. I was just living my best life. So what happened was, I was in Pretoria, living my best life, as I said. Not living my best life as in like I was partying every weekend or whatever people think living your best life is, but I was like being my own person, starting to find myself, and more like being independent, having my own space where I'm just on my own and do my own things, and that was the vibe in J. I was just enjoying that feeling of, oh my gosh, I do not have to ask my mom for whatever, I can do it myself. I don't have to ask my dad for whatever, I can do it myself, even though yes, financially did depend on my parents. Not really, but really depended on my parents, because I did have a side hustle apart from school, and so I did manage to actually make my own money apart from getting money from my parents. So it's just like, all right, cool, whatever. Before I found out I was pregnant, I was like constantly tired. I was so tired, and that was into my second semester of school. I was constantly tired. I didn't want anything to do with nothing. I was always sleeping. I missed most of my classes, which was wrong. I do not condone it. It's not the greatest thing ever, but I did, because I was just feeling tired. I'd wake up so late. Like, I had morning classes, and by the time I wake up, it's like classes are done, and you're like, what is happening with you? And it was just like really, really bad, fatigue and all that. Let me put it out there also that I took an emergency contraceptive. So yeah, anyway, so I took an emergency contraceptive. So me living my best life and continuing living life as it was, I thought, it's working, it worked, and I'll be fine, like nothing will happen. So okay, sharp, it's the time where I have to go home, And I had a period tracking app, so on my period tracking app it says I'm going on my period on the Friday and I'm going home on the Friday. So I pack my pads in and I do all the shenanigans, preparing myself. And at the time that weekend, I had plans with my friends. My friends and I were going out for lunch on the Saturday because one of my friends was moving, he's going to study abroad and all that, and we hadn't seen each other for a very, very long time because everyone was just doing their own thing where they were, we're in different places and whatever. So it was just a time for us to catch up and all that. But I was not feeling like myself, to be quite honest and frank with you. But a pick me up was always a face beat, just to pick up the mood, Yana, try and pick up the mood, because I started feeling like shit, and makeup really is the only thing that makes me happy, apart from my daughter. I was happy that I was going to get to do my makeup, I was going to get to look good and snatch and all of that, but I noticed my clothes were not fitting, so it was just a matter of, man, I'm gaining weight. I'm happy, everything was going grand, everything was fine. So I'm like, okay, finally I'm gaining weight, but not a lot of weight. So that was one of the reasons why I was really happy, because it was not that kind of weight that was no, it wasn't that kind of weight. It was the good type of weight. So I was really happy. Okay, fine, sharp. I go home. It's the Friday now. Start packing. I go home to my parents, and the Friday came, nothing happened, I didn't get my period, and it was really suspicious that I didn't get my period, because my period is always on time. If my tracking app says my period is going to be here on the Friday, bet Thursday night or Friday morning, I'm getting my period. I didn't get my period on the Friday, right, whatever, it's whatever. I'm like, it's probably that pill that I took, it's probably delaying my period, but I don't want to think too much about it because I don't want to spoil my mood. Come the Saturday, I get dressed up, I go out with my friends and whatnot. I was sleeping over at my best friend's house that night. We go to my best friend's house. When I get there, I was hoping that I'm going to see a little bit of blood. There's nothing. The Sunday morning, I felt like I was having my period. I felt like something was happening. I went to the bathroom and there was a little spot in Yana. It was dark brown, which was really weird for me, because normally my period, when it starts, is a really bright red or maroon, but it was really, really dark, deep kind of red. But it was just a little bit, a little spot on the pad. So I was okay, this is weird. I normally get this when my period is done, when it's finishing, and it's just the remainder of whatever. And it was really weird for me, it was really weird. I was just okay, maybe it's coming, maybe it's different.
Bendinethemba because yonke into ibisiza yathatha sharp curve
this time and whatever. So sharp, and then I had to go back to my place in Pretoria. That very night, when I got to my place in Pretoria, I felt so sick. I felt so sick. I felt like my back was breaking. I felt like I needed to vomit. I was weak. I was so weak and all of that. So I decided, because I'm that girl, to write it on my Instagram story that I'm feeling like my back is killing me and I'm feeling very nauseous. And someone said, congratulations, it's a girl. Now comes that part of, oh shit, girl, you didn't get your period the whole weekend. So what's happening with you, On that Monday, I decided what's in background in life. I need to wake the fuck up today and get my shit together, because if I do not get my shit together now, I'll regret it later on in life. Not Goisha, after they said congratulations, it's a girl, and a Goisha, then I was yeah, sharp. That Monday, I went to the mall. It was a walking distance, so I walked to the mall in Mainland. out to Clicks, bought 4 pregnancy tests. I know it's a tad bit dramatic, but they're like 2 in a pack, and I felt like I didn't want to buy an expensive pregnancy test and then comes back negative, and then swap. I do want to buy one that was gonna be like expensive for me because I'm a student, and I was really hoping it was gonna come back negative. But anyway, so I bought the test, and that lady at Clicks was looking at me weird there at the till when I was paying for that test. I feel like I felt like everyone was just looking at me. That's how it felt. It felt like everyone's eyes were on me, and I felt like and that wasn't the case. It was just me and my conscience, and yeah, that was just me. Now comes the bummer. Okay, Bele, I bought comfort snacks on my way home because I felt like I didn't want to feel like shit and not have any comfort food to comfort me on that very particular day, because I felt like it was do or die. Because I hadn't known, I had been drinking, alcoholic drinks, and so it was a matter of I need to find out now so I can stop what I'm doing and live in the correct way. I got to my place, went to the toilet, took one test, peed on it, and it was prominent. Like those lines were so dark. I'm telling you, they were so dark, you wouldn't even mistaken it for nothing. So to me, because I was in denial, I wanted it to be a false positive. And mainly because I felt like I wasn't ready. Like, I really wasn't ready. I felt like it wasn't the time. And it's not the place. It's not the time, it's not the place. Right now, my parents have trusted me with this whole responsibility of being by myself, and this is how I thank them. This is how I felt at that very moment. This can't be true. I hope it's not true. I was numb. I didn't feel anything. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I didn't do nothing. I saw those lines and I was just like, shit. And that was my exact reaction. And I told my partner, I'm like, dude, you remember that time when I told you I wasn't feeling well? Turns out I'm pregnant. Like, how do you know? So I'm like, okay, let me send you a picture. So I sent him a picture of a pregnancy test with 2 lines. I was like, dude, yep, we're gonna be parents. And he was like, oh my goodness, I'm going to support you all the way, and I love you. Don't do anything stupid and whatnot. I was like, dude, please don't tell me what to feel and what to do at this very moment. All I can think about is like my parents and their reaction and how they're gonna take me and how they're gonna accept this news. My parents really did put me on a high pedestal, and they did expect a lot from me. It's a bummer for parents to hear that. It's not what every parent would want to hear. Moving forward, I ended up telling my sister, because I lived with my sister. Ended up telling her about it, and what was 2 days did really feel like 3 weeks. I was experiencing 3 weeks in 2 days because it felt dragged and everything was just like a drag. It was a really draining experience at first. My sister said, don't do anything stupid, don't do anything that you'll regret tomorrow. Just know, consequence for every action. So whether you abort it, there's a consequence of that action. Whether you keep it, consequence of that action. So it got me thinking, because I had considered it, mainly because I didn't want my parents finding out that I was pregnant and whatnot. So it was sort of like a better option at the time. But at the same time, I'm like, no, I myself believe that everybody has a choice. Hence, I said in the beginning of this video, if you're gonna take offense, don't watch it. But now I'm gonna say it, and it might seem offensive to other people. I felt like, what if this is my one and only child? Like, it wasn't necessary for me. I don't bash anybody who does it, because everybody has a choice and everybody is allowed to have a choice. It's a free country, it's a free world, so you're allowed to do whatever you want with your body. That's on you. The choice that I made was what was best for me. what I felt was best for me. I'm speaking for myself, I'm not speaking for anybody else. But I also didn't believe the test. So that same week, I decided I'm gonna take a bit of my cash from a makeup gig. I'm gonna take that cash and go to the doctor. Yeah, cash. Because if I go on medical aid, it's gonna notify my mom and they're just gonna start asking me questions. What are you sick? What's going on? I see you went to the doctor, right? And all that. So I didn't want her having like a million questions. So I took that money, went to the doctor, and I told the doctor, I'm like, doctor, I took a test, came back with 2 lines, but I need a confirmation from a qualified person so that I'm 100% sure, and I also want to know how far along I am. I was still hoping, OT, that thing is just a false positive, and these things always happen. I mean, you always read about them, always see it in movies and all of that, so you could be one of the lucky ones. Went to the doctor and he asked me questions like, did you take a test? I was like, yes. And he says, what did you see? And I'm like, 2 lines. And he's like, were they dark? And I'm like, yes. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna ask for your urine so that we can check if you have any infections and so on and so forth, to check whether your levels are fine, everything is perfect, and then I'm gonna draw a little bit of your blood. I'm gonna take blood from you, gonna need blood samples so that we can check whether you're really pregnant and that how far along you are. And if you don't get a call from us, just know that everything is perfectly fine, you're not pregnant. They asked me about my symptoms and explained what I was feeling and all that. And then the doctor was like, he's gonna call me back in a few hours after he gets my blood work done and so on and so forth. So I went on the lunch. On my way home from the lunch, I got a call from the doctor. Congratulations, you are, how many weeks was I? 4 or 5 weeks, and I found out. And then the doctor was like, okay, we need to book you into a doctor. Which doctor are you going to? And I'm like, I don't know any doctors around Pretoria, but preferably I'd like to just speak to my parents first before deciding on things about doctors and all of that. I didn't know where I was going to start. I didn't know who I was going to tell first. Was I going to sit down with both of them and tell them? Was I going to tell the one that I'm closest to? What was I going to do? A month went by. It was around October. After I found out, I decided I'm going to sit down with my mother when I go home and I tell her, because eventually she's gonna see me. Either she's gonna see me or somebody's gonna tell her, and I'd rather just tell her myself. Just before that, my mother's big sister had a dream about me being pregnant. So my mom's big sister actually knew that I was going to fall pregnant, or that I was pregnant already before I even spoke about it. So I was kind of sort of scared that she'd find it out through someone else, not me. So I sat my mom down and I told her. I told my mom, and her reaction was, oh, okay, good night. Then she laughed and walked out of my room, and that was it. My dad only found out months later, and he said he just wanted me to tell him that I was pregnant, mainly because he had seen that I was changing. Well, my skin tone was light, and I gained a bit of weight, so he saw that there were a bit of changes, but he wanted me to blatantly say it with the, okay, dude, this is what's happening. And yeah, that's how my parents found out I was pregnant. My mom is the one that told my dad. I'm the one that told my mom, and I was not about to tell my dad because I felt like dude really expected a lot from me, and unfortunately for him, I couldn't give him all of it. So yeah, that is basically how my parents found out I was pregnant, or rather people around me, that's how they found out I was pregnant. Some of them received messages on WhatsApp, some of them only found out after I gave birth that I was actually pregnant. And yeah, so I get asked a lot, why I kept my pregnancy private. Guys, I feel like it's a really sacred thing. For me personally, I didn't feel like everybody needed to know about it, or I didn't feel the need to put it out there. Just to answer that question, or to why did I hide my pregnancy till the very end, I didn't feel the need to share it with people that were not close to me, even though some people might have felt that they were close to me. But those who needed to know, they knew, and that's how we keep it real in this corner. So yeah, that's all I like to say around that. I'm just happy there was no drama around it. Not too much drama, just a little bit of drama, not too much drama around it. Everything is good, everything is great. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Also, when you subscribe, please don't forget to press the little button over somewhere here on next to the subscribe button, so that you can be part of the notification gang. For more videos, please subscribe, guys. Subscribe. It's totally free to subscribe to my channel, so